What's going on, guys? Frankietrades here, bringing you another new weekly stock watch list. Before we get started and dive deep into it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know it helps grow the algorithm and the channel on its own. So let's go ahead and get started with that note being said. So as far as earnings go, there really isn't too much going on. We see that a lot of the banks are reporting on Friday before market open, of course. So along with seeing the banks here, you guys know that when banks usually start reporting, or even airlines like Delta, we start to see all the tech earnings stocks starting to report too, which will be pretty interesting. I know Netflix should be the week after, or maybe the week after that one, but Netflix will be one of the first few big major tech stocks that at least we trade in stock hours, as far as one of the big ones. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Elections, of course, are also coming up. You'll keep seeing me repeat that in most of these weekly watches videos, because it's just a heads up that market could get choppy, could get super volatile. So especially with how mixed everyone feels with that whole thing, and I don't want to dive deep into it, but yeah, it could be pretty crazy, could be pretty slow, could be choppy, who knows, right? That's why I'm making these watch lists for you guys, to steer you at least into the setups that I'm looking at and that we're looking at in stock hours overall. So but yeah, earnings week pretty slow here. And then as far as the main stock watch list, which is of course what you are all looking for, we'll go ahead and start with ES. So if I go in ES here, you can see that we are catered more towards the upside. What does that mean? It means that we're closer to the all-time high levels, or anything that's relevant to us on the higher, bigger time frame, or at least on the higher levels than we are to the downside. So you can see the downside setup, I have nothing really till 57.20, 57.25 with that double bottom down there. And we're roughly 80 points away from that, as compared to the upside, where we need to hold either 5,800, 58.20 is the next level that I'd be looking at for ES, and then after that, the all-time high at 58.30. So you can see why I'm catering more towards the upside, because we're a lot closer to it. But who knows, right? We can just be in a range, and we can just be stuck here for a while. If I put this on the daily time frame, you guys will see what I'm talking about, of the range that we are currently in, between 5,700 and or even 5,720, between this 5,800 area. 5,800 because we can't really get a close below here. But if you really want to talk about the top of the range and be specific, then roughly 58.20 to 58.30, where that all-time high lays around. So that is ES right there, or SPY. If you put this on SPY, it'll be the same thing, just different numbers, right? So if I go to NQ here and go to the 4-hour, you can see that trend line is still holding relevance. It is still pretty far away, around that 2,600 area. So it is still something to keep in mind. We are catered more towards the upside as well with NQ, just like we are with ES, which is surprising because you hardly ever see those two move together nowadays, I feel like. But as far as NQ goes, you can see that I'm looking at 2,300 as the first area to break out from. After 2,300, 2,500 will be the second area. And after that, I want to see how we react if we happen to come up and touch around the 2,600 area. The all-time high is until 21,000 basically. So we're still pretty far away, 700 points. Still a significant amount for NQ to move that far, but it's still pretty relevant. And then as far as the 1 hour, I believe here, you can see that we have a trend line here that gives us room all the way up to 19,900 roughly if we ever decide to come back down. That isn't too far away. That's roughly 300 points for NQ. That's pretty doable within overnight, or even in the day's move to get down there. So two ways that I can look at it. Downside obviously is further away than the upside. So same story with NQ with ES. So. And of course, your guys' favorite part of the watch list that you guys all want to hear is the main stock watch list. So first things first is AMD. This is did start some of the gap on end of day Friday at 169.80, going all the way into 171.21. We still have $3 left in the gap, but gap plays happen to be my favorite setups, or fall along of my favorite setups that I best execute at. So $3 left on that gap. Really, I'm just looking for momentum and volatility to pick up at this level, or if this is ahead of the market in any form, shape, or way. So pretty simple setup. It's just a gap play right there. So next up will be Meta here. Meta is going to be a little bit tricky, because you guys know how all-time level plays out. It can be super risky. I'll put this on 30-minute time frame, but it's super simple, super easy, nothing too complicated. The only thing that is really complicated that I was telling the students in stock hours about is that when it comes to all-time high plays or levels that you want to play or even consider, a lot of it comes down to skill. And when I say skill, I mean reading level 2, reading the tape, reading the volatility on the stock on level 2, buying pressure, selling pressure, all that stuff goes hand in hand when you're playing all-time high levels. So there's a lot of risk behind it as well. because you can always get some sort of rejection, and it's at levels that are unplayed on the stock as well. So you never know if there's a certain limit order of selling at a specific level that we just not seen on level 2 yet, or whatever the case may be. So you always want to be cautious with those all-time high plays. But on Meta, I'm looking at 597 and then 600 for the levels on that stock. So 2 stocks left on my watch list here. You guys know I get straight to the point with these is Microsoft and Nvidia. Surprise, surprise, not Tesla on here, nothing new, but that's just because of the area where it's at. But that's a whole nother story for the Stock Hours Discord only. So, but with Microsoft here, if we put this on the 4-hour, we can see that it has created a trend line on the 4-hour uptrend from the bottom side, and you can see that we actually struggled to get or close below 415. Microsoft isn't a stock that I normally like to trade, but because of this setup in that 4-hour trend line, we could see either a bounce near that area, or with Microsoft being weak and ahead of the market in that sense, we could see more downside here on Microsoft, which would give us room all the way down to 412, as you can see with this trend line on the 1-hour as well. So Microsoft is one to definitely keep an eye out for with how weak this has been compared to what the market has been doing. So it is something that's going to be a close eye for me come tomorrow because of where it's currently at. So either 415 or 414. 414.30 would be the way safer area, safer entry if you're looking to play it safe. 415 if you're looking to pick up some risk, and maybe if there is any sort of weakness around that 415 area. So that's how I would consider taking 415 as an entry as compared to 414.30. So, and then last but not least, super simple setup, it's Nvidia. A lot of people would argue, oh, Nvidia's in a choppy area right now. You can see that how 125 has messed around for a while now. But from Friday, if you were here during market open, you guys would have seen how crazy that wall was at 125 at the market open, and the nastiest rejection that we got, almost a $3 rejection off of Nvidia off that level off the open. And that's without the market too, right? Nvidia was doing this all on its own, and I believe that wall, from what I can recount, when Nor actually did the math on it, because it pulled back so much, I believe it was around 60 billion. It was some large sum of shares. I didn't get to see the wall myself because I was hovering another stock at the moment, so I didn't get to see it and what they were looking at. But you can see that we had broken it just by a few cents, and then we came back down below it after hours. So 125 is something I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for and seeing how that reacts either with or without the market there with that stock. So, but yeah, that is about it for the watch list, guys. It is looking pretty fire. I am loving every setup that we have. I would talk about the side watch list, and we do have a few fire setups there as well. But you guys know I had to save those for the Stock Hours chat only, just because, you know, they're paying for an extra premium to get all these extra helpful tips and information from us, interns and managers. So I'll save that for the chat. If you're not in the chat, I would recommend signing up in the description below with that link. There is a free membership trial with it. The chat opens up every Wednesday for free. You don't have to put your card in, nothing. It's literally just free, and the chat opens up every Wednesday, and you guys get the hear Nor on the live voice channel, so no delay on the YouTube or none of that. So, but with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the video and you guys enjoy the week, because it is looking pretty fire, so it should be enjoyable here. So you guys take care and peace out.